doesn't sound right. But what do you want? This guitar's over 80 years old. Works good on power chords and bar chords, though. I start getting out of the first position, I run into trouble. I love these double marks on the 7th fret. This thing's neat. So I was just thinking of a funny story. I had to call in Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones! To see if I remembered it right. Because there's a couple incidents on my first tour that I should have rightly been fired for. Working for Anderson Pawnee. No, man. Something don't sound right. So, what happened was, what made me think of this is the Guitar Geek. I watched that guy's show on YouTube, and I didn't watch it yet. I'm going to watch it in a bit, but he's got an interview with Tom Cram about the resurrection of DoD and Digitech, and I got a great Digitech story. At first I thought it was with Keith with his hum debugger fried, the power supply fried on tour, and there was like some of the venues we played. There was this one venue, I think it was in Santa Cruz, where apparently all the electric for the AC units was running under the middle of the stage. So his amp was like, we needed the hum debugger for that, but it fried somewhere, and he was just like, oh, it happened. I think it's sound check or something. And this is like my first tour as a guitar tech, after being hired as a drum tech, and then finding out at rehearsals I'm now the guitar tech too. So I don't know what I'm doing at all this whole tour. Thinking I'm gonna get fired constantly. Case in point, his thing fries out, and so he gives it to me, and then I didn't realize I was supposed to track him down a new one and get it to him as fast as possible. So after about 2 days, he's like, did you ever get me a power supply? I was just like, oh, no. He's like, yeah, well, you better get me one. And that was fine because it was like I think it's like a 7.5 volt DC to DC. The real fun one was how I almost took down the whole show in Sacramento, because in San Francisco, aside other disappointing things that happened that night, disappearance of a little bass tools case that I regretted from the rest of my years. Jamie, all his effects for the entire show were programmed into his RSD 1000 foot pedal unit thing. you know, and everything for every song. He would sit there for like an hour before sound check and reprogram that thing like every other night. And we get to Sacramento, and I'm setting up the back line, and I don't have the power supply. I must have forgot it in San Francisco. And another one, it's got a weird dedicated plug to it, and trying to track that down, trying to find any kind of an adapter would work. Nothing would work. We couldn't get anything that would fit or run it properly. And so out of desperation, he gives me a guy's number. He's like, or his email, like, you know, get in touch with this guy. So I reach out to this guy, and we're trading emails back and forth, or I think I even called him. But, you know, I'm hitting this guy up, and we're trying to arrange some way to power his RSD 1000 before the show that night, or there's no guitar show. Like, there's nothing. He'd be so fucked. And so I'm talking to this guy. Turns out it's Tom Cram. And I just think it's just some guy, you know, that works for like a Sweetwater rep. I'm talking to this guy. Because as a drummer, had no idea who Tom Cram was. It's only a couple of years ago from watching YouTube videos that I found out who he was, and I'm just like, oh my God. This poor guy had to put up with me, with this green idiot that couldn't find a power supply, which I eventually did, and it was one of those stupid universal ones that comes with like 10 different tips and has a little sliding voltage modulator, so you can go from, you know, 3, 5, 7, 9, blah 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 volts. That worked and saved my job and that show, because I think if I didn't do that day, I probably would have been sent home. I think the intonation's a little loud.